You already know it, everybody. We are live right now, per always. All the different apps, all the different platforms, Google. Only one we're not live on, but you'll get it right here. The live uncut version will be coming to you on YouTube in just a bit. Got a really fun episode for you put together by me and Anthony behind the camera right now. Folks, the overarching theme today, America is back. Now, if you know me, you know that it never left, but I'm going to tell you, everybody just needs to take notice of how awesome the streak is right now in America. We're crushing it. I mean, I want to just go through, just to start us off with, I'm so excited. Let me just paint the picture of the day here, everybody. I want you to think about this. We've got all these amazing things in the past 7 days that have happened in this country. I mean, so many great things have happened, and we're going to go through a list of them that are absolutely incredible. Then on top of that, we're talking WrestleMania today. For those of you who don't know, it's right around the corner, all right? Right around the Colonel? It's right on the Colonel. I don't know what I'm saying. Corner, April 18th and 19th in Las Vegas. We're going to talk about why it matters. It was a big part of my childhood. And I know I've been getting questions about my reaction. If you can't tell by my outfit right here, y'all already know it. Dutton Ranch is coming back, everybody. We are talking about the next chapter in the series of Yellowstone. I cannot wait for it to be here. We're talking Rip is coming back. All the great characters are going to be there. This is going to be an absolutely incredible show. I'm going to give you my reaction just to watching the trailer and why the show is so important right now within American culture. I really think the people like Taylor Sheridan, who's an assistant producer on this show, are so very important in shaping American culture, shows like this. And because I'm completely a fan of the show. All right, everybody. The first thing we want to start with is America winning. And this one to me is where we as a society, I think sometimes we get so caught up on the, I don't know what you might call, the 1% to 2% of naysayers that no matter what happens, there's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be America's fault. It's always going to be somebody else who actually did something wrong. They're never just going to take a moment and say, man, you know what? We live in the greatest country at the greatest time. And you know what? Right now, we're winning. This country is freaking winning everywhere right now. And I'm going to go through a list. I want everyone to think about this in the past 7 days right now. Number one, Middle East ceasefire, everybody. For everybody who wanted to give the president a bunch of crap, everybody wanted to say the man is out of control. You know what? He's off his hinges, whatever it is. I don't care what side of the aisle that you're on. You give credit where it's due. Right now, the U.S. has helped cool down a major global conflict, and it hasn't spiraled. We got a 2-week ceasefire right now, everybody, and it looks like America's going to get exactly what it wants out of this thing. Sometimes in life, you got to walk around, carry a big stick, and sometimes you got to use it, and our country is doing that right now more than ever. So number one, we got a ceasefire in the Middle East, all right? We led from strength, and we got the result that we wanted. Number two, oil prices. They have plummeted, everyone. Gas and energy costs took a hit big time overnight as people realized there was going to be a ceasefire here. And I think the markets are reacting right now to what they see from Donald Trump. They like the fact that the guy is willing to take a stand. And I want to tell you what, Anthony, I want to say something about this because I want people to understand how I look at what makes somebody a great negotiator. Or, you know, I've been asked before, do I think Donald Trump is a great leader? All right. And I think that a leadership is defined a lot of times by the situation that you're in. You can have somebody be a great leader or team captain, but they might not be a great coach for a team, right? When somebody's put into the right position, they can succeed. And this is how I look sometimes at the position with Donald Trump. Do I like the guy as a person? Do I think he says the right things? Sometimes I don't. I actually think he's kind of funny, though, to tell you the truth. But this is where I think what makes him different than every other president that we have had in modern history. I think if you take someone like Biden and you take him and you put him across the negotiating table from the Iranians, and he goes, listen, guys, if you don't do this, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to bomb you and you're going to be wiped off the face of this earth. They go, all right, cool, man. Like, that's nice. They don't really believe what that guy has to say. They don't take the threat at face value because they don't believe there's any kind of muscle. There's not some kind of big stick behind that he's going to bring. They don't think that he's going to be dangerous enough to do that. I think when Trump sits across the table from somebody and says, if you don't do this, I'm going to wipe you off the face of this earth, people believe him. And I think that's what makes America, or what is helping America to win across the world right now. There are a lot of people that may not like doing business with us. There are a lot of people that may not like America right now. But America is getting respect across the world because we're actually doing something that we say we're going to do. And if you cross a line, people know that we're going to actually do something about it. It's like if you got somebody in a schoolyard or something, and somebody keeps us, man, if you do that, I'm going to hit you. And you keep on doing it, and you ain't never getting hit by that guy. He could be the biggest guy out there on that schoolyard. But if he ain't doing it and he ain't throwing around his weight sometimes, you're going to walk all over that guy. And I think that what's happened is that people have gotten so used across the world to America being that big guy out there, the one who's got, the biggest muscles, whatever you want to say, but yet being walked all over for so long. Not anymore. And I love the fact that America is winning right now at home. We're winning in the stock market. We're winning in our economy. We're winning across the world. And you may not like how we're winning. You may not like the people that are leading the charge of that winning, but we are. And that's exciting to me right now. And I believe that right there is the reason why. When it comes to leadership at the top level, you have to have somebody that's got some ass balls, somebody that is willing to stand up in front of these world leaders and say, it's going my way or the highway. And let me tell you what, I got the biggest military behind me. And if you don't want to do it that way, then you know what? We got a problem. And I think the rest of the world is finally looking at that and going, I don't want a problem with this guy. He's real. If he says he's going to drop a bomb, he just is crazy enough to where he might do it. I think Ben Shapiro said it best. Just crazy enough is a great foreign policy. Because when somebody sits across, he's just crazy enough to do this thing. Yeah. And he turns out just crazy enough is the best foreign policy for the United States. But I want to tell you, oil prices have dropped. And even if we're not dominating here, we're dominating outside of Earth. If in case anyone missed yesterday's show, yesterday around like 7 p.m. at night, we were further away from the Earth than any human had ever been before. And on top of that, I'm watching some of the footage come back, Anthony, and it's absolutely incredible. It looks like it's HDT. You're watching these guys in space. You're hearing from them. Yeah, there's some audio thing, but I saw where the president called over to the astronauts. Man, it's cool to watch. Yeah. I'm looking around the world and I'm like, Iran ceasefire. Okay. Oil prices are dropping, economy crushing it. We're further away from Earth than we've ever been before. We're coming back. It looks like an awesome mission that America put together. Cool. On top of that, if y'all aren't aware, we had a regular Black Hawk. What is that? Was that movie Black Hawk Down or Black Hawk Down situation just a couple of days ago? And if you have not listened to this story about us going behind enemy lines to save a pilot, it will be something they will make a movie out of in the next 10 years. And it will be a great movie. It is a regular Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down deal. And it's exciting. I'm listening to the stories and how they use misinformation to redirect people in other places. It's a beautiful thing. And I kind of feel like a little bit America has a little bit of, I don't know what you call it, G.I. Joe to it right now. Like no man left behind. It didn't feel that way to me for a long time. But I'm like watching the news and I'm seeing that we're winning. I'm seeing that people are being rescued, that we're literally creating airfields out of nowhere to go in and rescue a guy that goes down. We're doing right by the people in America. And damn, that feels good. I think that's an amazing thing right there. We cut this one off. Yeah. Let's cut that one off. We got TV right there. And lastly, I think I mentioned earlier, the stock market is surging right now. And so we've got people making more money. I love seeing that. And all across the board, it just seems like America is winning again. And for me, it gives me such hope for what the future is going to hold right now. Is there anything I missed? Anything we did last couple of days? I feel like every day we're doing something else, just winning right now. Because I know we were talking about the astronauts in space, and I really didn't get behind it till you had mentioned it. But now that I've been able to sit there and watch and actually see what these guys are doing, it is nothing short of absolutely incredible. And when I see that, for me, I get excited. I get excited about what's the opportunity to maybe we could go and we're going to land on the moon again in 2028. What does that look like right now for America in the years to come? So everybody, I want to start off. I mean, if you want to start off with the great news or where we're at, it's heck yeah, America. A lot of big winning going on for us over the last 7 days alone. And it's very, very exciting stuff. Per normal, we're going to skip around on this show. You thought we were talking about just current events? Well, you were wrong. All right. We're also talking today about WrestleMania. Brought to us this story by no other than Anthony behind the camera right here. Anthony's talking WrestleMania, which I didn't realize this, Anthony. I have to admit, and I owe the public an apology. I really do. You know, for the last 2 days, I have said that this, after the Masters, is the worst 3 weeks that there is in sports all year long. And I have stuck by that, right? And me and you we've talked about it. And people have had their comments. And I was wrong. I was wrong. This is no longer the worst 3 weeks because we have WrestleMania, April 18th and 19th in Las Vegas. I don't want to hear about baseball. I don't want to hear about NHL hockey. I want to hear about WrestleMania coming to Las Vegas, everybody. Because if you have not heard, this is a packed show in Las Vegas. I mean, we're talking all the big stars are going to be there. And this is what makes America great. I'm telling you right now. Now, I want to talk about this because I grew up at a time when WrestleMania was a little bit different than it is right now. This will be the first WrestleMania that is streamed on the ESPN family of services. So now we got WrestleMania kind of coming out again. It's kind of coming to it's coming to the general public, if you want to look at it that way. It's not pay-per-view, which I don't know who does pay-per-view still, all right? I mean, get with the times here, boxing, if that's what you're still doing. No, where do I even go to buy pay-per-view? I have to call like an 800 number or something. No one's doing pay-per-view, okay? But WrestleMania going to be streamed on ESPN. Really excited for this one. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, which I have become less of a wrestling fan over the last 10 years of my life. At one time, I was a huge fan. These things are such a spectacle, right? They are an amazing opportunity for people just to watch a storyline develop, watch a live show that's absolutely incredible. I think that for me, this right here is like a Super Bowl of wrestling, and it's such a spectacular show. I was really looking forward to watching it until I saw that there was one person in particular that's going to be a part of this show. And I got nothing against this individual. I show Speed. This person right here, well, he is going to be the official death of the old WWE. Let me repeat that again. I show Speed is going to be the official death of the old WWE. See, WWE has gone through these stages. In stage one, I'm going to call this the late 90s, early 2000s, okay? This is what you call the storytelling stage. This is when you had people like The Rock. You had Hulk Hogan. You had The Undertaker. There were massive stories that you had out there. Great. And then we went into the character stage. Roman Reigns, CM Punk. These guys that you see right now, they're developing characters, but they can't develop a story. And so what has happened is that people like me between 30 and 40 years old have dropped off the WWE like a cliff. And so what they're attempting to do now is they're going to sunset on that right there with this title match that they're going to have at WrestleMania. That era is ending. And for some of you out there who watch this, you have no idea who I Show Speed is. This guy's a Twitch guy. He's doing streaming, millions of fans across the world. But what it is an end of an era where you bring in YouTubers, you bring in Twitch guys, you bring in people like that who already have a fan base from the outside and try to reintroduce them into WWE. But WWE has not addressed the problem that they've had for the past 15 years. They can't develop a storyline worth a damn anymore. It's why they have to bring back The Rock. It's why they have to bring back John Cena and develop new characters for them because they can't hold the storyline on their own. And what this is right here, Anthony, when I Show Speed shows up, is it's just another example of how the WWE can't survive on its storytelling anymore. And it can't develop characters like it used to. It wants people to love characters, but because there's no story behind them and there's nothing that fans can fall in love with again, They have to bring in these guys from the outside, like Jake Paul, like IShowSpeed and stuff, and they have to make them a part of the storyline because WWE cannot do it anymore. Now, you can say that it's great that they do, but WWE storytelling is dead. And you can add in as many YouTubers as you want. But until they fix this, until they get characters that people love and people hate, then what you're going to find is that they're constantly having to replace talent from the outside in order to try to get what they had in the early 2000s and late 90s, because they don't have it anymore. And they know they don't have it anymore. And so what he is just represents the end of yet another era of WWE. I'm telling you, that's what it is right now. You know, these guys like Jake Paul and who is it, KSI, these guys like that, they're the ones who are now the up-and-comers within WWE. Roman Reigns, he's fading. This is why they're having their championship match. You always see this in the end of an era, a championship match that is big for the storyline that it brings. But then the understanding that your matches on the front end are where the storyline is going in the future. And those are the guys who are going to be the ones to carry the WWE for the next 5 to 10 years. And they're adding these guys into the storyline for a reason. I'm telling you.
We're going into the influencer era of WWE.
You're right. We have gone from the storytelling era, the characters era, and now we're in the influencer era of WWE. And I think that that's controversial to a lot of people. Is it good? Is it bad? Should we have these guys in there? Shouldn't we be developing characters from ground zero? I don't know. I'm a purist when it comes to this. Kind of funny to say I'm a purist for WWE, but I really would love to see how they develop the characters from the inside, right? But when I look at what they're doing, I can't say that it's not a smart business decision. Like, I can see that they're looking at this and going, hold on, we've got a big venue right here. We've got a big audience. We've got an audience that people like IShowSpeed want to see and want to know, right? And if that's going to be the case, then what's up? Are we good? What we're doing is live. You good? Go ahead. Come on. You're live. You're live.
We're live?
Yeah, we really are.
Okay. I'll Slack you a message.
Okay.
We just have a question about one of the contracts.
Okay. So is it? Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll be done in about 5 minutes with my Heck Yeah America podcast. All right. So there we go. Work doesn't stop. So one of the things there is, I think that they've, what were we talking about? I forgot what it was.
Oh, WWE coming back? Or?
Yeah, so I think that what they're trying to do is they're saying, okay, we've got this audience, and it's an audience that someone like a Jake Paul doesn't normally reach, or IShowSpeed doesn't reach. We've got this audience for you. And you, as a Twitch streamer, you know, all the stuff that you do, have an audience that perhaps we don't reach. And so I think that some people are sitting around and they're going, all right, well, if we bring both of them together, we think there's a lot of crossover right here. We think that our audiences would actually appreciate one another and like the storytelling. And I think there's going to be something here. It's worked for Jake Paul. Is it Logan Paul? Logan. Is it Logan or Jake? I get him confused. Logan's in, yeah. So it's Logan who's in WWE. So you got Logan in WWE, right?
Jake is in MMA or something?
Let me look. I got you. So want to make sure we get it right. Logan Paul, yeah. So you got Logan Paul in WWE. So, I mean, he's the blueprint for this thing.
Yeah.
You know, they're bringing in other fans. He's been able to capitalize on his time there. And when you see something like IShowSpeed coming into this thing, what you have to understand is that this guy is no longer a side thing now. He's been a part of like a Royal Rumble type thing. He kind of rushed in on a match. In the past, he's kind of been a sideshow. Okay, cool. He joined for a night, and then everyone kind of had their fun. But when you're introducing him into a tag team match inside of WrestleMania, what you're saying is that you're committing to this character for longer than just an episode. That this could be something that could go on for years for him. And it's a trend now where YouTubers and these people who have an audience outside of wrestling are joining. And what they're doing is they are bringing their audience with them. And they're making the benefit of getting the WWE's audience. And what a loyal audience it is. I mean, these are people that buy the merchandise, they wear the brands, they love the people and the characters, and they buy in. I just think that it really shows how much WWE is struggling to develop characters internally. They're having to bring out people from the outside, and it could just be a sign of the times as people find different ways to entertain themselves about what's happening. So this, to me, a very unique story. I love the fact that you brought it to me. I was wrong about sports. Now that I know WrestleMania falls within this 3 weeks, I don't know how I could say it's bad. But no, in all seriousness, WrestleMania, the Super Bowl of wrestling, I was just thinking to myself, the sport that I would love to see on ESPN that's maybe never been covered or is no longer covered. And I was like thinking to myself, bodybuilding. There was a time when, remember, ESPN used to cover bodybuilding. They would have like bodybuilders roided out on top of, like, on the stage, Ronnie Coleman. I mean, these guys who are announcers were acting like these guys weren't doing steroids or anything. And as a kid, I remember watching that on ESPN. They had Mr. Olympias on ESPN. Now they wouldn't allow it because, of course, that would be furthering steroid use and in an untested event like that. But I really would love to see bodybuilding make a comeback and make it onto ESPN. I'm not saying it has to be like mainstream or anything, but I mean, they're showing like disc golf and frisbee golf on ESPN nowadays. You can at least throw some bodybuilding up there and see what that thing is all about. At least bring in another audience. I mean, if you're going to show all the stuff they do, why not? All right, last story. There's a fun one for me, everybody. All right. Now, if you know me at all, you know that my favorite show of all time is Yellowstone. Yellowstone, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing. Taylor Sheridan has written just such amazing stuff. He wrote the prequels for Yellowstone, shows like Tulsa King, just so many great things that the guy has written. Although he did not write the new Dutton Ranch, the next evolution in the series of Yellowstone. He was a executive producer, assistant executive producer on this thing, and I think that I've been able to watch maybe 10 times, 20, maybe 100 times the sequel or the teaser trailer for this, and it's going to be just absolutely amazing. If y'all have not seen it, Beth and Rip are both back in this one. It is just going to be, well, it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. And I want to talk about something a little bit deeper than just the show itself. I was just looking. It premieres on May the 15th, everyone. So it's just going to be an amazing premiere, I'm sure. But I think shows like this, like Yellowstone and like the show Dutton Ranch, like something like Landman as well. That's another Taylor Sheridan show. I think they speak in some ways to conservative values that the country still has. Although they're fictional and there are a lot of drama, you see on these shows family, you see men that are sticking up for women, you see country western, you see country music, pickup trucks, and kind of we're going to do it the good old boy way, all right? And that resonates with people. And I think if you would have rewound back to, like, let's say COVID era or, right when that was going down, and you would have told me that, the number one show in the last 4 years, like a Yellowstone, you could argue, was going to be about, I don't know, the Wild West, and it's going to be country, I would have said there's not a chance in the world with the way that our culture is today. But when you watch these shows, you feel a sense of like duty and honor that these people have. And I think that it's real. And I think it helps our country. I think it helps people to see other people like them. I mean, I like wearing a cowboy hat, hence why I'm wearing it today. I had one here at the office, okay? But I really do believe that these shows speak to American values in a way that's very unique. And I know there's people dying and people getting killed. It's all that. But I'm talking about the undertones of what it means to be an American, the Wild West. And when we talk about America winning, I look at something like the Dutton Ranch and Yellowstone as being a symbol of Americans going out there and tackling and conquering, and man, just, may the strongest survive. And I think that it's such a beautiful thing when I continue to see shows like this that are going to continue to hit streaming services. I think this one's going to be an absolute hit, although you don't have a Kevin Costner in it, who was obviously a big part of Yellowstone. You still get some great characters here as they move the show to Texas and film over there. And I just got a real feeling that it's just going to continue to be a hit. So cannot wait for the Dutton Ranch. It's going to be another shot in the arm of American culture. And then on top of that, we've got an opportunity there for America to keep on winning out there in space and right here at home. And we'll get a chance to watch WrestleMania on April 18th and 19th. You can be sure me and Anthony will be tuning into that one. All right. That's the show for today. Heck yeah, America. That was the theme of today. Hope you all enjoyed it.